I haven't posted a video in a long time. So it's time. And this is going to be the highlights from 2025. And I'm going to begin with the fig trees before moving on to the other topics that I cover on my YouTube channel, Old World Meets New World. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. These are the 3 fig trees I put in last year. This one's the cherry cordial. This one is from a very good friend who lives also in Massachusetts on the North Shore. And this one is from New York, and I think it's also a Figo Filacciano, but I'm not sure. I put them in last year and they took pretty well. Their leaves haven't even fallen off yet. It's November 14th or something like that. But a frost is coming soon, 2 frosts, that's what I wait for. First 2 frosts, so they go dormant, and then I have to protect them. Now, some people, when they come over here and they check out this garden and everything, wow, that's a lot of work. And I keep trying to tell them, it's not really a lot of work. Preparation is the key. So I have my pipes ready. That's going to be 1 stake. I'm going to put it right in the middle of those 2 trees so I can tie down the branches. This is the pipe that's going to allow for ventilation. And this is the second pipe that I'm going to put in the middle of these 2 trees. I put them in 1 foot underground and 2 feet above, or something like that, so they stay nice and solid. Now I have to get the leaves ready, because I'm going to use leaves for these 3 trees. The other trees, if you've seen my videos, I use pillows and construction blankets. We have had a couple of frosts, so it's time to cover up these fig trees. Last year I did not have to prune this fig tree that's in the middle, the Figo Filacciano from Italy. But I have to prune it this year. So many thick branches that I'm not going to be able to bend over to properly cover them. The Chicago Hardy, that's going to be easy. Maybe a little tough to bend over some of these branches, but I think it'll work out. This 3rd fig tree in this area has yet to give any figs. So I'll probably wait 1 more year. And if it doesn't give any figs in 2026, I will probably put a cherry cordial here. Preparation, luck, talent, and opportunity. 4 keywords as far as I'm concerned for life. So we want the leaves to be dry when we use them for the first layer of insulation for these trees. And it's supposed to rain over the next few days. So 1 tarp down, and then all the leaves you need, and then 2 tarps on top to keep them dry, with poles on the top and on the sides to keep the wind from blowing them away. Now, if you do feel a little stressed while you're doing this, well, then just drift away down to your wine cellar and have a cocchetto, but only a cocchetto. Cocchetto means a drop. And then you get that kick-ass attitude, and you come back out and you kick ass. You like that new song? I just wanna drift away downstairs. I've cut these 3 branches so far, and I'm using a handsaw, of course, and they smell great. So there's a fireplace lit inside. I'm gonna take that little branch, bring it in, and put it in the fireplace, and it'll smell wonderful while I'm out here deciding how many more branches to cut. This year, huge harvest. Next year's not gonna be as much, but that's okay. It's lunchtime. Got some nice endive growing in the garden. This does well through January, so let's go eat. And these trees are also ready. So let's do this, and then we'll move on to the next topic, Winemaking 2025. Winemaking 2025 began with the Carmenere grape from Chile. This grape has been getting more and more consistent each year. It always tests in at anywhere between 12 and 14% alcohol. Total acidity is always above 0.6, but it's never 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, so I make sure none of these wines go through malolactic fermentation. And I do that by racking every 3 months, and I add the minimal amount of meta, or potassium metabisulfite. This year's yield as 1 carboy, 5 gallons, and 2 demijohns, 14 gallons each. Then we made some wine with the backyard grapes, 2 gallons this year. And if we look carefully, I think we can see the sediment falling in this one. It clarifies by itself because I'm lucky not only to have the garden I have and the fig trees and the space and the sunshine, but also this wine cellar. The temperature today is about 40 degrees and the windows aren't even opened. Then we moved on to making some wine with the Barbera grape from Susan Valley in California. This Barbera grape is a little more expensive than the grape that comes from Lodi. It's almost double the price, but it's well worth it. Just remember that saying. We can make bad wine from good grapes, but we cannot make good wine from bad grapes. And this year's yield is 2 demijohns and a carboy. For grappa, made about 1.5 gallons. I combined the grappas I made from the Chilean, Californian, and backyard into one, so I call it la Grappa Mondiale. I don't like the grappa very strong, so this is about 25-30%. I blended with the tail. The tail's a little cloudy, so this grappa is not perfectly clear, but it tastes great. And for Genziana, on my return trip to Italy, I was able to get some nice fresh Gentian root from the Abruzzo region where I was born. Usually I use the Gentian root from France. You can see the difference. This is smaller, drier, whereas these that I just brought back are larger and fresher. They both make an excellent Genziana.
My cousin Lorenzo is helping me make wine with grapes from the backyard. 2 years ago, his sister Matilda helped me make lasagna. Making wine and listening to Pink Floyd. What the fuck is better than this?
We pressed it once, took the pomace out. We're going to loosen it all up and put it back into the press. We're going to try to get as much wine out of this as possible. Che Figata, 1 gallon so far, and I think we might get 2. And I think Lorenzo's having a good time.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, what's the word in Italian for when you're having a good time? What do you say? Che figata.
Che figata, che figo.
I was very lucky to have been born in Italy, where food and wine are so important in people's lives. But even luckier to have moved to the United States of America, where there are definitely more opportunities. And if one can get prepared and get talented in what that person loves, when opportunities knock on the door, take advantage of them. So, you know, my YouTube channel is all about maintaining traditions from the old world. So my cousin's son is crazy about rock and roll. So we had to make pasta alla chitarra, pasta on the guitar. And we also made some paline per il brodo, which translates into broth balls. And when we do the pasta alla chitarra, we try to explain what Che Figata means. Che Figata, making pasta alla chitarra with the rock and roll legend,
Yeah.
2 rock and roll legends, and listening to some nice music. Lorenzo, what does Che Figata mean in English?
Cool.
Something cool.
Yeah.
Well, we would say fucking awesome. We are preparing paline per il brodo. And this recipe calls for 2 eggs, half a cup of parmigiano, half a cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of butter, and a pinch, as they say in Italian, un pizzico di noce moscato, nutmeg. And these are supposed to be boiled in a broth, but we're going to do a little variation and fry them in some olive oil because they're so much tastier. And the chefs are busy at work here. Yeah. Lorenzo is preparing the butter and the cheese and the breadcrumbs, and Emanuela is working on the parsley.
That's looking good, Lorenzo.
And it's Thanksgiving, so I don't have to do anything today. Added some parsley to this mix, and now we're
experimenting with the size of the paline, the size of these broth balls, or some are small, some are bigger, and we're rolling them in a mixture of regular flour, semolina, and cornmeal.
No, bravo. Ay, no.
When they brown on both sides, it's time to take them out. And that's what they look like at the end. And then we put them in a bowl. And I think I might finish them in an air fryer just to make sure they're cooked.
I took my nephew's son fishing, hoping he would land a striper from shore with a Santini tube and worm. But we weren't lucky. I didn't go for stripers as much this year, so I wasn't really as prepared. Usually I consider all the factors, cloudy, sunny days, wind, incoming tide, outgoing tide, and all these kinds of things. But I didn't really go for too many stripers this year. But my friends who did go told me that they did not have a very good year. Catching squid, well, that was different. We caught a lot of squid this year, and I've been using this same squid jig for 3 years. And it has been very good to me. We'll see a video of my cousin's son learning how to surf cast from shore. And when I sent the video to my cousin, his response was, Che Figata!
3 anni fa, quando c'era Matilde, mi ha portato fortuna. No, non 3 anni fa, 2 anni fa. Mo su Lorenzo deve piena spigola, ma forse se ne sono andati. O forse non hanno fame a quest'ora. L'acqua sta per entrare. Stai imparando a tirare. Ah.
Another good year for bottled garden tomatoes, and I store them in this area because the temperature usually stays at about 62, 64 year round. Not too much light gets in here and no heat sources. I bottle as the tomatoes ripen, so anywhere from 20 to 30 bottles at a time, and as the season winds down, maybe 5 to 10. And I have different size jars, small, medium, and large. This year, mostly early girl with some aroma paste. In my opinion, they make the best jarred tomatoes. Buon appetito! To my English language learning website, I posted a study guide for the circuit by Francisco Jimenez. I used this book many times when I was teaching at Bunker Hill Community College, and my students really liked it. They not only learned what it was like for workers in California who picked fruits and vegetables, but they also learned lots and lots of English. Francisco Jimenez is the author, and he wrote the book from the perspective of a child. So all he wants to do is stay in one place and learn English, but he can't because he has to follow his family members as they move all around California, picking whatever fruits and vegetables when they ripen. So we really see how difficult it is, for example, to pick cotton. The name of the book is The Circuit, and one of the chapters in the book is also The Circuit. Francisco Jimenez wrote this chapter by itself, published it in a magazine. It was very popular, so people asked him to write a book, and he did. Eventually, he breaks the circuit. He becomes a college professor. And the study guide has all kinds of questions, from vocabulary to grammar to critical thinking, exercises to help us with the prior knowledge we need to read the book. So I hope you decide to read it. And as always, if you post questions to my website, I will answer them as soon as possible and free of charge. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope 2026 is a figata of a year. Then we